It was the first week of October, and the halls of Ridgewood High buzzed with the sound of sneakers squeaking on polished floors, lockers slamming shut, and clusters of friends talking about homecoming. For most students, it was just another ordinary Monday. But for 16-year-old Emily Carter, every walk from her chemistry class to her locker felt like crossing a battlefield. She had moved to Ridgewood just 2 months ago, a shy transfer student from a small town where everyone knew everyone. Here, she was the new girl and outsider in a school where social circles had been carved in stone years ago. Emily wasn't weak. She was smart, disciplined, and secretly trained in martial arts since she was 10. But she had never used it in real life, not against people, at least. She preferred books over confrontation and self-control over showing off. Her father, a retired military man, had always told her, strength isn't about hurting people, it's about knowing you could and choosing not to unless you have no other choice. The trouble started with Tyler Grant, the Ridgewood High quarterback. Tyler wasn't just popular, he was untouchable. His crew of football buddies walked through the hallways like they owned the place. For them, bullying wasn't about anger, it was entertainment. And Emily, with her quiet presence and old-fashioned wardrobe, became their favorite target. It started small, shoulder bumps in the hallway, sarcastic "hey, sunshine" comments, stealing her notebooks and tossing them down the hall. Emily ignored it, thinking it would pass. But bullies thrive on silence. By the second month, their games got worse. They'd corner her at her locker, mock her clothes, and once, even hid her backpack in the boys' locker room. Emily felt the walls closing in. She didn't want to fight back, not physically, not yet, but the stress was eating away at her. Her grades began to slip. She stopped talking much at home, afraid her dad might storm into the school. The last thing she wanted was to seem weak or incapable. The breaking point came on a rainy Thursday afternoon. Emily had just finished gym class and was walking to her locker with wet hair clinging to her face. She heard them before she saw them, Tyler and his friends laughing loudly. She tried to keep her head down and walk past. But Tyler stepped into her path, his grin wide and cruel. "Hey, Carter," he said, leaning one hand on the locker beside her. "Still hiding behind those books? You should come to the game Friday. You might actually see a real man for once." His friends laughed. Emily gripped her books tighter and tried to sidestep, but another boy, Marcus, blocked her way. "Where you going, sweetheart?" Marcus taunted. "We just want to talk." Emily's pulse quickened. She kept her voice calm. "I don't have time for this." "Make time," Tyler said, moving closer, his hand brushing against her shoulder as he pushed her back against the lockers. His tone had shifted from teasing to something darker. For a moment, Emily froze. Every instinct told her to get away, but the walls felt too close. Tyler's smirk told her he thought she wouldn't do anything. That's when her father's words rang in her head, "unless you have no other choice." Her choice was clear. In one swift motion, she dropped her books, shifted her weight, and drove her knee straight into Tyler's thigh right above the knee, where the femoral nerve runs. The pain was instant and brutal. Tyler's smirk twisted into a gasp as his legs buckled. He crumpled to the floor, clutching his leg in agony. The hallway fell silent. His friends stared, stunned, as the star quarterback, strong, cocky, invincible Tyler, couldn't even stand. Emily stepped forward, her voice steady but sharp. "Don't ever touch me again." Tyler groaned, unable to answer. A teacher rounded the corner just then, taking in the scene. The story spread through the school like wildfire. By the next day, everyone knew Emily Carter had taken down the quarterback. And not with a punch or a shove, with one precise strike that ended his football season before homecoming. The diagnosis came later: severe muscle damage and a partial tear in the ligament. He'd be out for months. But for Emily, the victory wasn't sweet, it was complicated. She was called into the principal's office, questioned, and even faced the threat of suspension. Tyler's parents were furious. But several witnesses, students who had been too afraid to speak before, finally told the truth about Tyler's harassment. Their statements changed everything. The school dropped all charges against Emily, and the principal issued a warning to Tyler and his friends. The days that followed were strange. Some students treated Emily like a hero. Others avoided her, whispering about how dangerous she was. Emily didn't care. She hadn't done it for glory, she'd done it because she refused to be powerless. Yet the biggest change came inside herself. She realized that standing up for herself didn't always mean staying quiet or waiting for someone else to fix things. Sometimes it meant drawing a line so clear that no one dared to cross it again. One afternoon, a freshman girl she barely knew approached her in the cafeteria. "Thank you," the girl whispered. "They used to mess with me, too. They stopped after what you did." Emily smiled, her heart lighter than it had been in months. She hadn't just defended herself, she'd sent a message to every kid in that school: respect isn't given freely, it's demanded through courage. And to everyone watching this, Emily's story is a reminder: you have the right to stand up for yourself. Bullies thrive on fear, but fear loses its grip when you find your voice or your courage. If you've ever faced someone trying to push you down, remember that your strength isn't measured by how hard you can hit, it's measured by how firmly you stand. If this story inspired you, I want to hear from you. Share your own story in the comments below, your struggles, your victories, or the time you found your courage. And don't forget to subscribe to Be Kind Always for more powerful, real-life stories that remind us the world can be better when kindness wins.